Who knows, this could be the next NFL.
Today on Across the Fence, we go from the page to the pitch and learn about a sport with a funny name, Vermont roots, and a growing worldwide appeal, all thanks to a boy wizard. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. Harry Potter has become a myth for modern times. The popularity of the story about an orphan boy who finds out he's a wizard and, oh, by the way, has to save the world is nothing short of a phenomenon. The Harry Potter book series has sold over 500 million copies worldwide and has been translated into 80 languages. Add in the movie adaptations, and Harry Potter is estimated to be a $25 billion franchise. Given the global appeal, it should come as no surprise that an imaginary sport involving flying broomsticks and a golden ball described in the pages of Harry Potter has become real. Keith Silva has our story.
To the uninitiated, any sport looks chaotic, strange, and... Wait a second. Are those people running around with sticks between their legs?
We're on the same page, but this is a very silly game, and that's what makes it special.
The game is Quidditch, and this is UVM's Quidditch team, the Friendship Athletes.
Okay, so spell that.
Quidditch, Q-U-I-D-D-I-T-C-H. Fictional game made real.
Before Quidditch took to the pitch, it was a hit in the pages of the Harry Potter series and a grand slam at the box office.
And the game begins!
Brooms up!
Real Quidditch was adapted by two Middlebury College students in 2005 and based on the Harry Potter books written by J.K. Rowling. Since then, collegiate teams have formed across the United States. And like the story it's based on, Quidditch has a global presence. It's played in 25 countries by an estimated 20,000 players outside the U.S.
Aim for the head and usually it will go to their chest.
Becky Daw is the UVM Quidditch team president.
We're people who want to play a sport, but we want to have a lot of fun doing it. And when you're playing Quidditch, it's silly. So like we're having fun while also being competitive. Like we're really a family here. Our team name is the Friendship Athletes because we were making friends while also chasing a guy around in a golden costume. Like it just makes it fun and makes it worthwhile.
We'll get to the guy in the golden shorts in a minute. Quidditch is played between two teams with 7 players on each side. 1 seeker, 3 chasers, 2 beaters, and 1 keeper. There are 2 different kinds of balls. On the right is the quaffle, and on the left is a bludger. Throwing the quaffle through any of the 3 hoops is worth 10 points.
We'll be starting.
Tom DeMuth is a junior at UVM and a cagey veteran when it comes to Quidditch.
The dodgeballs are the bludgers, and the beaters throw the 3 dodgeballs at other players to knock them off their broom. When they're knocked off, they have to drop what they're doing, get off broom, and go back and touch their hoops. The quaffle is the deflated volleyball, and what that is you throw that through the hoops, which are over yonder, to score 10 points. Each hoop is worth 10 points, so the chasers and the keeper play with that ball, try to throw it through the hoops.
As for the stick between everyone's legs, those are broomsticks, the non-flying kind, of course. And even though they're not airworthy, there's a lot of strategy to staying on broom.
You can see the field, the pitch a lot better than anyone else. So
Rachel Eddowes is the team's vice president.
When you're running, it's the best idea to have one hand on your broom, and we do a lot of drills where you learn how to catch with one arm, because while you're running, you got to be able to bring it right in. You got to squeeze the thighs. Squeeze the thighs, jump up, catch it, so you can do that.
There's some official guidelines for brooms. It has to be like a certain length, it has to be like a certain width. Before there were a lot of rules, it could just be like a normal broom. But for strategy purposes, it's gone to a stick, because if you have this big bushy hay at the bottom of your broom, you could get beat there. So for strategic reasons, it's now just a PVC pipe, a nice thin one.
It decreases your raw physical skill because everybody is handicapped. So like even if you can run, you can run really, really fast. When you stick that broom between your legs, you're handicapped just a little bit. So it puts everyone almost on an even playing field.
Get him!
The brooms make Quidditch a one-of-a-kind game. But to maintain authenticity with the books and the movies, there's one other important aspect that needs to be included: the golden snitch.
You catch this, Potter, and we win.
In Harry Potter, the golden snitch is a flying golden ball. Here it's a tennis ball and a sock attached to the back of the snitch runner, who wears gold shorts with the word snitch written on the side.
The snitch can do just about anything to those seekers. They can literally pick them up and toss them away if they really wanted to. And the seekers have to sort of kind of play a little bit more fair game, where they can only sort of kind of knock away the hand of the snitch to try to grab the ball out from underneath them. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of running back and forth, and the beaters play a big role in that as well, because the seekers can get beat. So really the protection of the beaters helps the snitch a lot.
There's a lot of good passing, but it kind of led to nowhere because...
Between bludgers and broomsticks, the members of the team all consider themselves wild about Harry, but they disagree on which they prefer: the books or the movies.
I am a huge Harry Potter fan, except I've never read the books, which some of the people on the team were always shocked to hear that because I am the president, but I just never got around to it.
Becky, oh, shame. Yeah, Becky's never read them. For the 7 books, I read them 7 times, and I still read them just because I love them. I watched the movies before I read the books, unfortunately, because my mom was super into it, so her and I, that's how we bond. We love talking about it.
For an imaginary game, Quidditch has made a real difference in the lives of these students.
You realize this is not a real sport, right?
Sort of, yeah, but that's all right. We have fun, and you know, if you think of it as a sport, it's a real sport.
I like that it's a growing sport. There's a lot, every year there's a new rule book that's coming out, and the game's changing and it's adapting. It's evolving into something new, and I think that's really special, and that a lot of people are coming in and learning this new sport. It's not something that a lot of kids grew up doing, obviously. You have people who are playing soccer their whole lives, but Quidditch is something special. Keep going! All sports had to start somewhere, you know? Who knows, this could be the next NFL.
When I came here, I didn't even know there was a Quidditch team because I didn't understand that colleges did Quidditch. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is my thing, because I'm a fan, I love it, I love sports, I gotta be active. So it's such a perfect mix of both of them that and you find a lot of people like that. And it's just this great vibe of just nerdism and athleticism.
From fantasy to reality, there's certainly something magical about the game of Quidditch. In Burlington, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
Thanks, Keith. Quidditch is a year-round sport. Check out UVM Quidditch on Facebook to learn about upcoming events and tournaments. Turning to a story a little more grounded, Chittenden Solid Waste District's composting program has taken off in recent years. Rebecca Gollin went to the CSWD facility to find out how today's scraps are tomorrow's soils.
87 is when we were created and this landfill started closing. Right, mandatory recycling kicked in.
Michelle Morris is the Director of Outreach and Communication for the Chittenden Solid Waste District.
We are a municipal district. We act kind of like a school district or a water district. We're responsible for managing all of the solid waste that's created by all of our member towns and cities. So every town and city in Chittenden County, if you produce trash, recycling, food scraps, all of that kind of stuff, we're responsible for overseeing how it's managed. We don't pick it up, we help you make less of it. Right behind me, behind this little red dumpster, is all your drink bottles.
On this day, Morris is leading a tour of the Materials Recovery Facility, or MRF, in Williston.
There's no better way to understand how your decisions impact these markets and how recycling works or doesn't work than by seeing it in action and seeing what your decisions mean to the folks who work here and to the system in general.
Those decisions can make a big difference, both to the workers at the MRF and its bottom line.
So some of the common mistakes are plastic bags or filmy plastic. We don't want any of that in your recycling bin. Take your plastic bag back to the grocery store. They recycle it via a completely different system, and it does get recycled, but not in your blue bin. So no plastic bags, no styrofoam. Make sure plastic packaging and containers are empty and clean, and no food packaging. We get 180 tons here a day, and we have people working here. We want it to be a nice environment as much as it can be.
The group on this tour is largely made up of employees of Autumn Harp, which is a custom manufacturer of personal care products in Essex Junction.
It's just good business.
Adrian Oates oversees the company's manufacturing facility. Recycling is a key part of the sustainable practices they've implemented.
Sustainability is also done a lot of reduce in terms of electrical usage. We have LED lighting, that sort of stuff, water reduction projects, and that all saves money and puts money to the bottom line. The recycling is much less expensive than sending to the landfill, which is also good for the bottom line. And our customers, it's really important to our customers.
This is where the market's going, is sustainability. And
as a materials handler at Autumn Harp, Jason Fitzsimmons deals with a lot of the waste that comes through his company. Seeing the way recycling is handled at the MRF has helped Autumn Harp make sure its waste is going to the proper place.
A couple of years ago, we did a audit and we found out that plastic film was super easy and affordable to actually recycle. It didn't cost us too much more. And we were able to put that in place. And I mean, the amount of plastic film we send out of that facility and that doesn't wind up in the landfill it's quite a bit. It's a few trailerfuls a year. And that's after it's been kind of compacted down a little bit. And so it is quite a bit.
After their tour of the MRF, the group headed to one of Chittenden Solid Waste District's newest facilities, Green Mountain Compost in Williston.
They're doing here on the molecular level, so they know the carbon-nitrogen ratios of all the different feedstocks.
We're taking in yard debris and food scraps from around the county and beyond, and at this point that's over 5,000 tons of each. So there's a huge leaf pile that represents the majority of the leaves are the most of the yard debris we get, but also grass clippings and things like that.
It takes about a year to turn food scraps from the slimy, smelly loads that come in to the dark brown, nutrient-rich compost that the facility sells in bags or bulk. It's still a couple of years until the full implementation of Act 148, which will require all food scraps to be diverted from the landfill. But the compost facility is starting to prepare.
It's not just us here at CSWD that are preparing for 2020. I feel like the state is, and down to an individual level, people are starting to think about, am I going to backyard compost? Am I going to drop it off? And what am I going to do about those bones? And those kind of questions. So it's nice that awareness seems to be, pardon the pun, but happening organically.
CSWD Business Outreach Coordinator Ethan Hausman wants people to know that there are some important things to consider when it comes to composting.
There are many things to keep in mind, down to the smallest detail, like taking off your produce stickers before you throw your avocado skins in the compost or your banana peels, to thinking sort of much more broadly about how to reduce first and foremost. We want to emphasize that as great as composting is and recycling, that at the consumer level, it really starts with trying to reduce first, and that's always preferable as the first step.
Back at the MRF, Michelle Morris has some advice for Vermonters who want to get their recycling to the right place, but might not know where that is.
The main things people need to know is, if you're not sure what should go in your recycling bin, call us or check our website. We have a hotline and we have a great A to Z list on our website. And don't throw it in saying, oh, they'll figure it out. We call that wishful recycling. It doesn't help the system, it just makes it more expensive.
Helping Vermonters use all of their resources. The Chittenden Solid Waste District is gearing up for the future. In Williston, I'm Rebecca Gollin with Across the Fence.
Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you for joining us. That's our program for today. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.